Aaron, so good to have you back.
William Baumann, how are you? It's good to be back.
Yeah, that's Baumann. That's more accurate than you might agree, might know. You know what's interesting about that intro video is in the video, I'm much skinnier than I am now in the video, in the intro, and you're fatter in the video.
Yeah, I'm considerably fatter and angrier because
that
photo's like 6 years old. But it's fine. It's fine. It took forever to get you the actual footage you needed, so it's I'll roll with it. It's good.
Listen, it wasn't happening. Never mind. That's a whole other story.
For as vain as I am, it's completely fine.
I'm glad to have you back, though.
Yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's thanks for having me on and putting up with me. So,
of course,
I missed it. Been busy.
This is going to be a fun show today because I've hung out with both these fellas, Jon and Jon. We're talking Buffalo Bills today, and so this should be a great show because there's going to be a lot of ball busting.
Yes, and me being a Browns fan, if the Browns have a sister or brother team in the league, it would definitely be the Bills. So I'll wait. I'll reserve my thoughts until we let these two in the octagon with us.
So let's bring them on. Unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Bring on the Johns.
You want to bring in? That's what she said. Okay.
Whoa, double Johns in the house.
Johns are here.
Johns everywhere.
Wow, you look fat, Billy.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Hey, you brought it up. I was.
Can I take my shirt off for this? Do you want to go shirtless, or do you want to wait till we get to the usual shirtless round? Yeah, shirts.
A little mesh tank top, just a little cut off, so I can show on the ring.
Summer's almost here, boys. We got to do this.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Sure.
Let's introduce you to everybody at home. Let's start with Jon Solimine. Jon Solimine, who the fuck are you?
My name is Jon Solimine, like you just said. I am a somewhat elderly man living in Raleigh, North Carolina. I moved here from New York a couple years ago. I work for Epic Games. I previously was doing what you all doing, just kind of doing, freelancing as much as I could and doing some illustrations and screen printing, what have you. And then I buckled and took a full-time job. And then Billy, the reason I know Billy is because when I was living in Chicago, probably close to 15 years ago now, I shared studio space with him and Jason, and we shared studio space amongst a lot of other things. So I've known Billy for years, and Billy and I are still working together. Like, we had a work-related conversation today. So
John,
it's been a weirdly long relationship. Like, I've known you longer than people that I consider way better friends. You know what I mean?
So you're better than far better people.
Yeah, I appreciate that, John. So, John, back in the day, you went by Spike Press.
Correct. Right.
I'm still gonna go by Spike Press.
I do. Right. I don't really. I mean, I updated it. I basically don't have anything to do. I sort of abandoned it. For all practical purposes.
But perhaps your claim to fame back in the day, in our poster days, was you did a lot of national posters.
I did, right?
Yeah.
When I lived in Cincinnati, I actually ended up working at the same restaurant as Matt Berninger, who's the lead singer, and subsequently ended up knowing everybody else in the band prior to them actually being a band. And then when they actually started playing music, then by that time I was doing posters. That's when I met you guys at the, I think it was the Intonation Festival, which was the pre-Pitchfork year one. Right. Yeah. I think that was the first time I met you. I met Little Friends of Printmaking. I met Jay Ryan, everybody from Chicago, of course, and then Little Friends of Printmaking and some other people I can't remember. Hero Design was there, I believe.
Yeah. The good old days. The good old days.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of the good old days, Jon Kutt. Did I pronounce it right?
That's right.
High Road Design. You're an old gig posters guy too.
A long time ago, yeah.
A long time ago.
Of no acclaim, I worked for one nightclub, and I did all of their posters.
Yeah.
They would just get stolen in the area, so they never really advertised anything. They were just hung up in the two universities.
That's the best compliment, though, when your poster gets stolen.
Highest praise.
Yeah, the kids around here, though, have no taste.
Well, this is kind of tangential. With COVID hopefully coming to an end soon, do we think we're going to see a boom, like a resurgence in gig poster popularity here in the next 6 to 12 months?
I hope so. Our print shop needs the work.
Yeah. I mean, it's. Yeah. I know it's a biased crowd here, but it is something I hadn't really thought of until we got to talking with the two Johns here. So.
Well, I feel like at what point did they move from actual advertisements into just merch? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like at some point
when graphic designers started doing them.
Well, I think it was more than when there was started to be middlemen, and once the clubs got involved with it, and once the bands realized it was actually a lucrative source of revenue, was what fucked it up ultimately. Because I remember walking around Chicago and seeing Steve Walter posters actually hanging on a wall, like outside, like glued somewhere, like like true. It was a true gig poster, right? Same thing with Jay Ryan and Diane Saduka and all those guys. I feel like. But then at a certain point, like they stopped hanging them up and you just got them at the show, right? Or it was sort of the pristine hanging in the record store window.
Yes.
There was the color versions and in Cleveland, where there's essentially just one big name in the gig poster world, which is Derek Hess. There'd always be like the colored silk screen print. You'd get like maybe 250 of those, and then you'd have black and white handbills littering the wasteland everywhere. And that was like, there was like the Easter egg hunt. So we're talking before social media and all that stuff, when print really like was your main outlet to all that stuff.
Yeah. He was an early favorite of mine.
There's our NFT artists now. They're rich. They're loading. They're just rolling in e-currency money.
You know, the Ethereum money, buying multiple yachts and shit. Yeah.
We're floating on a river of Ethereum. I
don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, my NFT is going to roll out here. I don't know why I'm bothering with this podcast anymore, really. Like, I don't fucking...
I don't know, man. This podcast has really made me a lot of money.
Oh, yeah? You probably do screen grabs and make NFTs out of all of them.
I probably could, yeah.
That's why you missed me so much.
That's true. So, a funny story, when I did my first ever screen printed poster for my own band, 2003, that's what started the whole thing.
Civilized Age?
I went into like a vintage clothing store down on Clark and Belmont, and I hung a poster in the window, 18 by 24, full screen printed, went and shopped for 10 minutes. And then when I came out, it had already been stolen. And I was like, wow, I must be onto something with these posters.
There's the moment you're like, fuck. And then you're like, wait, you go, oh, fuck. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. This is a hit. Okay. All right.
3 people at the show. God damn it. How much do we make at the door?
So like we gotta like pay like we gotta like $20 so I can get gas and we can get home and stuff. We could do that, it'd be cool.
I remember one time I used to do posters for the Empty Bottle, and one time the opening band got mad because I got more money for the poster than they got paid for the gig.
Amazing.
Was it was a local opener?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
never get leaked. You should never have to deal with that.
Well, we knew mutual people, so they're just kind of pissed. I don't know how it got around.
Well, I don't know if you guys have seen. Is that Civilized Age stuff on YouTube still?
Some of it, yeah.
Okay, I encourage you guys after this is over, Google Civilized Age on YouTube and watch. If you want to see Billy shirtless, wearing the tightest pants
before I was chubby.
The tightest pants you've ever seen in your life, and like the jauntiest kerchief tied around his neck.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know how I haven't sent it to all you guys yet. That's my
no,
claim.
Billy. Because Billy, I've known you now for what, 6 or 7 years?
Probably more.
This is the first. Yeah, I'll be getting shit out of this. Yeah.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a link in the show description.
Do it,
and you guys can all check out my rock and roll heyday.
No, I knew you did bands. I didn't know you were Steven Tylering it up out there. I'm excited about this now.
I tried. I did a show without a shirt on once, and it was for this big psychedelic festival. And then there was a review of the festival, and they reviewed every one of the bands, and they ripped me a new one for thinking I was way sexier than I actually was because I was doing it without a shirt on.
Was this like an indie rock scene, or what kind of scene was this?
It was psychedelic rock music.
That's like antithetical to psychedelic rock to be roasting you for acting like a fucking rock a band member. I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently I was.
If you had seen him live, you might have a different opinion.
I mean, it's not like it's not like a Christian music festival and you show up and do some DJ Allen shit. You know, you start like fucking shitting on yourself and like cutting your chest with a broken.
They made fun of me because I was wearing, I had vintage suede bell bottoms.
Yeah.
And no shirt and a scarf, but between songs I was drinking water and not whiskey.
That's what offended them.
Mixed messages, man.
People sound terrible.
Which I totally was a phony. It's just an act. Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I love how we've gotten completely waylaid on the show.
Of course, I'm back. That's what we do.
Yeah, no, it really has, because I've asked a couple people that don't do sports logos at all to make a sports logo. Because why the fuck not? So let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Let's start with the history of the Bills logo here. Did you guys do any research in your creative process?
Are they actually a team?
Wait, what sport do they play? No research. Is this all new to you guys?
Yeah.
This is exciting. Then I kind of love that there's no. I mean, I'm assuming John's being serious here. This is exciting to me.
These are Canada. We know hockey.
So these logos, the first three, these are. I don't even know if you could call these logos.
No, these look like the front page of like a diner menu.
Yeah, exactly.
They look awesome. They just don't look like fucking sports logos.
Yeah, I mean the first one, at least it's one color.
Yeah,
it's got that going for it, which is pretty cool.
How did they screen the second one on a helmet?
You know what? I gotta look up.
We're all hand painted.
Yeah. Yeah, they would get an airbrush artist.
They got rid of the second buffalo for some reason and the second player.
Well, you could see in 62 on the side of their helmet. It's hard to see this little tiny JPEG.
Oh yeah.
This thing was on the side of their helmet.
Yeah, the red one color buffaloes on the helmet in the logo, which makes less sense that this was their official logo.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
The 7-color serigraph print.
And then in 1973 to 74, this was designed by Stevens. I forget his last name. Stevens Wright. Let's call him that. Steven something. Here's the artist who designed. He did a lot of sort of mid 70s football stuff. He did some Kansas City stuff. He did some 49ers stuff. He even at one point redesigned the Vikings logo on the helmet, but they didn't use it.
That guy literally only looks like he could ever be like a gruff commercial artist or run Jurassic Park. So
yeah. Oh, look, you can actually see it really tiny. You can see
there it is.
Buffalo Bills logo helmet. Yeah, I think he was from Long Beach. So the guy. So here's the interesting: the Buffalo Bills, named after, I'm assuming, Buffalo Bill, right? Buffalo Bill had never been to New York, much less Buffalo, but they named a team after him. He's a Colorado person, with a logo designed by a guy in Long Beach. I mean, why else would you call the team fucking Buffalo Bills? I mean, the team came around in the 60s, so I can just assume that the Western was popular at the time, and the folklore of the West, cowboys and Indian movies, and it was too good of a pun for them to pass up.
This is interesting to me because I am a Browns fan and the Browns are named after Paul Brown. I thought the Bills were honestly named after like a bill that like conceived of the team back in the 60s or whatever. I didn't.
You know what?
That
might. Listen, I didn't do a lot of research. That might be true.
I was just going to say, isn't this somewhere on Bills.com? Can't you find this shit like really easy?
I was reading the Wikipedia page before our thing, and then I had to use the bathroom, and so I didn't finish it.
No, according to the
unreal.
According to my 17 seconds of Googling here, it is drawn from Buffalo Bill, and it is obviously the result of a fan contest to pick, the name or whatever, according to what Google. So, anyways,
Buffalo Bill, he was kind of just a charlatan. He was just sort of a showman. He did this Wild West show where they just played up all the Western tropes and maybe stuff that didn't even happen, or you could see he had people from all over the world, quote unquote. They were probably just from Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Was he a war hero first, though? He was a war hero, wasn't he? I watched Deadwood, so that's where I'm getting my facts from.
Yeah, I think he probably was a war. I think a war hero in the sense that he probably, I think he murdered a lot of Americans. You can see him down here shooting Native Americans under his horse. So, yeah, I guess if you want to consider genocide a war hero, he was a real war hero. Right now, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, you do live in a fractured two Americas, America. So,
yeah, but regardless, this is a cool poster.
It is.
Yeah.
And that is weird. So I guess that makes sense. The one color red Buffalo logo makes a lot more sense because it has a lot of Western vibes to it, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, it does have a buffalo.
I like how they included the penis bump.
Yeah.
I think that is that what that is though?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the buffalo. That's that buffalo's dick.
I specialize in animal dicks. That's what I draw. It's basically all I do.
It's buffalo balls. No, there's only one bulge, not two. So never mind.
Speaking of bulges, let's check out these designs.
Zing.
So unfortunately, we had to have one winner.
Wait a second, 28-69? Seriously?
Nice.
Jesus Christ! It's a fucking guitar pick, people.
I have a big family, John.
I love John is not going down without a fight here.
Yeah. Listen, we could do a revote. Let's talk about this real fast, John. But before we get to that, you've earned the.
Isn't that music? Isn't that music copyrighted?
Yeah, but when you only get 32 views, it's not a big deal.
John's getting the Epic Games legal team behind that.
Exactly.
Oh my god! I'm dealing with the legal team at Epic Games right now.
John's gonna be like, this episode never happened.
John, let me put it this way. Let me ask you this: what the hell were you thinking?
I don't know. No, I actually almost completed, like got 90% of the way done with an entirely different one that was a football player riding on the back of a buffalo carrying the ball, like going like classic Heisman.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
That's what he was actually sitting on the back of a buffalo. So that was like my first one that was the first thought that came into my mind when you talked to me about this, Billy.
Yeah.
And so I started going down that road, and like I said, I got like 90% done, and then I was like, nah, fuck that. And then I started going down the Wild Bill Cody road, and started doing something with him. And then I kind of ultimately I saw you guys probably saw the Jack Davis mascot illustrations that he did, they look late 60s, early 70s to me. I didn't check the dates, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like I saw, like those are so awesome. Like, and so I that's when I started going down the, mascot as humanoid kind of thing.
Let me look those up while you guys talk about this logo.
Yeah, the Jack Davis stuff is awesome. And then Billy, at one point you were like, you should have just done the guy. Like you should have left off the type. Like that would have helped somehow. which I don't know if that's true or not, but
Proof's in the pudding, John. I didn't have no type. I just put a B on there. Simple.
I love the spiciness of this. This is the tension. I think the decision to go to a buffalo, an animal character, was a wise one, because you could go the route of picking a cowboy or Buffalo Bill or a Western thing, and you immediately end up being compared to the Dallas Cowboys, who in the NFL,
right.
There's such a grandfathered in sacred cow of a team. It's like, why bother walking up that hill? So in a buffalo is such an odd animal in the context of sports. I feel like you're kind of duty bound to chase that concept and chase the visual of that, in my opinion, which is why I think it was a wise choice.
Yeah,
well, you got duty right. Terrible. Sorry.
Ultimately, I think this is a totally serviceable, logo illustration, whatever you want to call it. But it's boring. Like it's just kind of sitting there.
Well, why do you say that? Why do you like it's just sitting there? What do you? Can you elaborate on that?
I just feel like it's, like I said, it's competently executed, but there's nothing original about it.
I think it's pretty original.
Yeah, I've not seen any entries in the context of this competition that look like this. And if I think of the other 31 NFL teams, I don't know. It doesn't look like any of those. And I mean, so I think you're being a little harsh on yourself, and maybe you're beating yourself up because you lost, but I don't think those are the problems with it.
I think it's
so what went wrong?
Well, I mean, better. I don't want to shatter your spirit, but these things they just happen sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, what went wrong is it's an art competition, and you leave it to the whims of people on the internet, and it's not worth reading too deeply into those results.
I think
Jon Kutt might disagree with me there, but it's
here's one of those. I think
all of his ex-girlfriends and asked him to vote for him.
That's two. I'm a
two.
Listen, we're learning about all the loopholes that are surfacing with with the problems with this voting system. So you never know.
Jack Davis was the king, man. Look at that.
So here's one of those Jack Davis mascot drawings. And now that you mention this, John, it puts yours in I totally understand where yours is sort of coming from. I think maybe the issue with yours is it's not what we might recognize as a logo.
No, right. Yeah.
Right. It's more of an illustration.
Didn't strike me until I actually sent it to you, and I was like, it's not really a logo, and it's not really a logo type. It's not, I don't even know. Like, it looked okay on a t-shirt, but it's not going to be on the side of a helmet. So I don't know what it is.
I like yours better than mine, John. I'm going to give you, I voted for you.
Really?
Yeah. I like yours a lot.
Thank you.
So,
I think,
well, lost
I don't want to ruin the whole camaraderie. I'm supposed to dump shit on people, but I like this. Good.
I think if my criticism of it would probably be that if we're talking about a logo, especially in modern sports, the amount of colors and the amount of blue grays and blues in this thing could be crushed down to two. Maybe I don't think you need more than that. I really don't think you need more than one blue there, especially, I mean, we consider Buffalo, the Bills, kind of a heritage NFL team at this point. They've been around for damn near 60 years. So that would be one thing that I think that jumped out to me if I had to get nitpicky about it. But I do like the red lighting you're implying on the right side of the character here. The aggression about it, I don't. The things that you see wrong with it, John, are not the things that I see wrong with it.
Yeah, I think that red lighting really that was a clever thing to do, because it does create that aggression, which is interesting. How just a lighting touch can do that.
Yeah, and also you get
better without the words. I think the words definitely take away from the character itself. Not that the words are bad. I just think the character has strength to it, and the words just kind of pull you away from it.
Agreed. I mean, I think yours incorporates the type into the design like far, far better. I mean, obviously mine was not an afterthought, but they're two separate elements. I think yours does a way better job of uniting those.
Well, what if you just took the type and had this foot like covering part of the word buffalo, and then just shoved it up in there?
What if I think it just needs the penis bump is what it's missing.
You're right.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to bring that up, John. Thank you for finding your way into that.
Yeah.
I actually sent this to my junior designer when she was working on some stuff for Epic, actually. Mm-hmm. And I said, look at how Jon did the teeth. I was like, see how, because she like was drawing every tooth.
Some good teeth.
And I was like, look at how stylized this is, where it's just like a lightning bolt, and it tapers off, so it creates some roundness, but it's graphic and stylized. I was like, do some teeth like that. Those are really good.
No, those touches and those stylized generalizations, I'm a fan of those types of touches, and it's pretty similar to things that I do in my own work. So I definitely relate to that.
The one part I don't understand, maybe you can help me with this, Jon.
Okay.
Why is there popcorn flying out of his?
It's a little known fact that popcorn was invented in Buffalo during the halftime of a Buffalo Bills game. So
that makes sense.
Buffalo wings and popcorn from the same city.
I was just gonna say, right before you said that, I was gonna say I really like the nose steam for some reason.
I'm sorry.
So thanks for stepping on that.
You know what's so great about this? The F and the A, they fit together so nice.
I like that whole typeface for that word. I mean, that's very like mid-century NFL inspired, and especially looking at the Jack Davis stuff.
And Western too.
Yep.
That looks based on the Buffalo typeface from Plink, right? From the photo lettering from House Industries, they have the reverse tension sans serif. The B in my Buffalo is Buffalo from Plink.
Yeah.
So it's almost the same thing. It's that reverse. I forget the name of it.
That's the stuff that I like, where it's definitely not athletic, and it's definitely not speaks to modern athletic design, but I just love kitschy, well done design, especially in typefaces such as this.
These are both Adobe typefaces. I couldn't tell you which one's off the top of my head, but yeah.
The Bills, I believe, is Voltage or Thirsty. One of those two.
Thirsty, I think. Yeah.
It's not to sound snobby. The typeface for Bills is fine. It's inoffensive. It again, the problem it runs up against is it does feel just sort of like a separate piece, disjointed from the character illustration.
Right.
And I don't, in the big picture of this competition, I generally don't pick apart such things, because you kind of are up against it with a time frame, and you're asked to give us just your best one piece of it. So could it be more incorporated? Sure. Was that a deal breaker in my eyes in this particular case? No.
I think it's also important to note that I think we're critiquing Jon's design more than we've critiqued it, maybe anybody else, just because Jon came out guns a-blazing and with us, and I know him so well, so I don't feel bad about making fun of him.
Well, I always appreciate, as a fan of self-awareness and warts and all type of self-appraisal, I just didn't see a lot of the negative criticisms he was raising himself about the piece. Also, it's a better conversation than us sitting here for 20 minutes going, "Yep, cool.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, you did.
You got some shapes, you got some lines. Looks cool."
What I'm saying is, like, when I have people on here that I don't know and I don't have a rapport with, sometimes I am left with, "Hey, that looks pretty good."
Sure. It's par for the course with as many of these things as you're doing here.
Let's talk this monstrosity. Sorry.
Here it is. It came to me in a dream.
Really?
Yeah, I had a fevered dream.
Was ayahuasca involved in this?
I'd eaten some bad Thai food, and basically things went crazy during the night, and this just popped out. I was playing guitar, and here we go.
Wait, were you playing guitar?
What's that?
Were you playing guitar?
No,
Because it does look like a guitar pick.
it does. Absolutely.
Was that completely
Guitar picks were made in Buffalo.
guitar
Jim
pick?
Kelly was a big. He was a big classical jazz guitarist. Jim Kelly, hero of Buffalo. He was a well-renowned jazz guitarist back in the day.
Is this serious?
No,
Man, you should have really stuck with it because I'll believe anything.
I'm a graphic designer, so I know how to sell anything. I can sell any shit you want me to sell.
I was like, man, I'm learning all sorts of shit through this experience right now, man.
Yeah. No, Buffalo puts out more jazz guitarists than any other city in the United States of America.
No
So
shit.
this is an homage to that.
Not just every time I die in fucking buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So what was your process like? Are you you're just a straight to the iPad sketch on Procreate kind of dude?
I sketched it in the Procreate. Yes.
Yeah.
Then I sketched it again. I had a side profile of a buffalo at first,
Yeah.
and I went against that, and then I brought this front view up because I like the simpleness. I like the simple shapes. So I brought it down to a guitar pick looking thing because they have a weird tapered head. They have a giant nose, you know? Yeah. From the front, you got to work in order to get the buffalo working. This kind of gives me the feeling of a buffalo. That's where the guitar pick came in. Then I have my the uprights. Do you see the nose is an upright? And then those are players, the little dashes of the eye. That's a classic nickel formation.
Oh, right? Yeah, it
is. Got nickel 7 in the old playbook right there.
Wow. You know more about football than you've let on, my friend.
I only know, you know what? I was saying, I know football from the time of Brian Bosworth. I used to have the Brian Bosworth Avias, the little lime green shoes. That's all I know. So I know nothing because Brian Bosworth was a washed out flame out.
Yeah.
He was my must.
The Boz had a couple of good seasons. It just was that his legacy is that one clip of Bo Jackson absolutely sending him into the next zip code.
Yes. And his movie. If you ever get a chance to watch his movie, do it.
Oh, I was just going to say, what's that called?
Stone Cold?
Stone Cold.
Yeah. Stone Cold. Movie rules.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think maybe I relate to it in this sense, John, is that I like almost the fact that you really don't have any sort of connection or deep sort of frame of reference to the modern game, and those are your ties to it. Yeah. I didn't even see the guitar pick. When I first saw this, I immediately loved it just because I just thought it was so from outer space in regards to, what you're used to seeing both in this competition and just in general, like designers coming up with stuff for modern football, modern athletics. So it still works as a 2-color, 1-color simple logo. It's immediately recognizable. It reads as a buffalo's big ass head to me, and it works. I saw more of a shield before I saw a guitar pick, but I clearly see it now as we're talking about it. I'm a very big fan of this design.
No, I think it's. I mean, it's reductive in the best possible, but like it's essentially a circle with some details in it, but it's doing everything you want it. It's need. You know what I'm saying? Like it's accomplishing everything it needs to do in the simplest, best way. I feel like, and the football related details that you just explained, like the fucking
bullshit, though, John. I made it all up. I looked afterwards and I'm like, oh, it kind of looks like the upright.
I'd love to see Jon Kutt in a client pitch meeting, just like a fly on the wall, just watch him fucking.
Oh, I can sell it all.
Getting some yarns through the fucking.
Did you ever mess with like making the outside edge a little hairy?
I scalloped it, so I had it scalloped, and it looked like a weird broccoli flower. Like I had done the bumpy ridge around the outside of it.
Yeah.
And it just took too much away from it. I could probably send you the file. I don't know. I have it somewhere.
Yeah, send it to me.
No, I was just gonna suggest that, Billy. Like next time you should ask people to submit any, like submit pencil sketches or reject.
I usually do.
I
didn't ask you guys because I don't know.
You thought we would just skip straight to perfection? There'd be no.
We're professionals.
No, I have people send me. If you watch any of the other episodes, not that you would want to, we do see some process progress stuff. So if you want to send me, you guys can chit chat and send me some stuff, and I'll throw it up on the screen and we'll talk about it.
All right. It also kind of looked like an afro when I had it up. It just it made a weird. It had a weird edge to it. Well,
I think less is more for sure with this one. I think especially because if they rebrand the team today using this logo, I might not even put fucking stripes on the top of that helmet. It might just be this thing on both sides of a white helmet. Did you take this eventually into Illustrator, or did you?
This is all Illustrator.
It is okay. I just didn't know if you ever, because the work that you do now is all Procreate, right?
No, not lately. I've been doing Illustrator again. Illustrator is my first love.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
crazy.
back into it, but it took me a while. I had to get back into it.
I have people that keep trying to get me more into Procreate, and I've tried, but I'm just so a creature of habit with my Cintiq, because I can just draw on my Cintiq.
Of course.
I'm very much the same with that. Like, I have an iPad Pro, and I've played with Procreate, but I'm like, I have a 24-inch wide version of this. I don't. I think
was because I had a 24-inch Cintiq, and first of all, the resolution and the immediacy of the pen, I think, were the two biggest things for me. Like, the resolution is just better, and it just feels like,
On which one?
I'm sorry, the iPad resolution is better than the Cintiq version. And it feels like your pen is actually on the surface, whereas when I used the Cintiq, there was always that like feeling that it was hovering slightly above the, that I never kind of passed. But
I think I agree with all your criticisms of it, but I literally have just been working on a Cintiq for so long. It works for me, and I'm aware of those. I've adjusted to those inadequacies, if we'll call it that. So
once you get used to something and you make it work, there's no point in going back, because the way that you want to do it,
Yeah, I don't I'm all for adapting and evolving, but it's like at a certain point, it's like if it ain't broke, the work's got to get done.
Yeah, I worry about not evolving, because we all know, Art Chantry or something. I've always been worried of becoming the next Art Chantry. Not that I've ever been as popular as him, but he never learned how to use a computer. Yeah, so he kind of just became a bitter old dude.
But if you were modern, you might be doing an NFT drop right now with cyber glasses, and look at this, I'm doing these holographic GIFs that no one gives a shit about.
I think we benefit, the four of us, from being born kind of at the ideal time where we kind of understood life before the internet and life after the internet and tech in general, and we're able to sort of be more agile than the Art Chantries of the world and the older generations of creators.
Yeah. The Procreate and iPad is a tool. No matter what, it's the same as having, if you want like a certain style of pen or whatever. There's some people, it changed my life because I needed my life changed and I couldn't figure out how to get art out. So it worked for me.
100%.
Right now, my claim to fame is I'm the one who got Draplin drawing in Procreate. And now all he does is draw in Procreate. I'm like, dude, people are gonna get mad at you. What are you doing?
That's a pretty big feather to hang in your cap, It's
yeah.
I couldn't get him to do a free logo.
He's like, I like what you do, and he's like, I'm gonna start doing it. And then now that's what he's doing. I noticed I have a weird puff. I had a puff of hair right here. Oh, for God's sake! I gotta clean myself up.
I would also say that. I would also say Procreate changed my life, as far as workflow goes and everything. But it's also, it also comes from like, what are you working on? What are you doing? What the final product is. Do you use the iPad for anything vector related, John, or no?
No, So
Okay.
I tried using the Illustrator, and I tried using like
me too.
whatever. And
I was
it's
kind of excited about that, and they all seem really shitty.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's awful. There's no control, and Illustrator, I know how to work it. The one on the iPad is just garbage.
Yeah.
But I use Affinity, and that has a pretty good vector engine in it. But it's just I'd rather work in Procreate because it's just so nimble.
Yeah.
Like Photoshop and Adobe products are so bloated and so filled with things that it's nice to see Procreate is literally lightning fast. And it's like when they don't have all the features, but when they add them in a very thoughtful way because they don't have 30 years of bloating happening. Right?
I mean, I relate to it in the sense where it's like you can spend days and weeks learning new tools, but at the end of the day, it's like if it begins to take away from my creative process and actually making shit, I don't have time for it. Like I bought a GoPro to take video of my muraling. So like I plunked down like $500 in a setup, got to the fucking site to like set it up. And then I started Googling how to set up a GoPro. And then it's like after like 4 or 5 minutes, I go, who needs to fucking watch video of me painting this shit? I just want to fucking paint. Like,
But you try.
If I get to grappling level, I'll just hire someone to take video of me doing it. But I don't have time for that shit.
You're constantly thinking of a way of changing the game, but the game changes whether how you choose it to happen. And like Procreate, or like when I bought the iPad, it was me going to my wife going, "Is it okay if I spend $1,500 on this device that I already have, but this one's better? Like, can we do this?" And she luckily said yes, because I was feeling like emotionally drained because I was doing UX at my design job all day and it was killing me.
Well, I mean, that's important to have a partner that understands the value. You're not just buying shit for the sake of buying it, like
But it could have turned like a drum lesson that I literally used it twice and then was like, eh.
John, let me ask you this. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead,
John,
Billy.
Back in the day, you used to have a lot of wrist issues. Does Procreate does that help with that at all?
Are you talking Solimine?
Yeah.
John?
Oh, Solimine. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know. That's a good question. My wrist issues have sort of gotten better across the board for reasons I have no idea why, but it just doesn't. It really doesn't bother me that much anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
I used to.
Are you having problems?
No, no. The Cintiq really fixed a lot of that. Those kind of problems for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it could be it. I mean, but it was even before I got the iPad. I mean, when I got my Cintiq, I actually used it less. Like I never fully like jumped in with both feet. Like I did plenty of work on it, but I never felt like 100% like I love working on this thing. You know what I mean? So I mean, but it did pull me away from, doing intricate work with the mouse. So it could have contributed definitely.
I would say maybe 2 months ago, finally started working on Illustrator on my Cintiq. Until like 2 months ago, I was just clicking and setting curves and points with my mouse. And then finally,
that's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah, I didn't like being right on top of the points with my stylus, and I couldn't get past it forever. And then one day I just kind of started doing it. And I go, how did I ever not do it this way? Like, that's just kind of what it is. You got an intruder there, John.
Aaron, do you use
right now? It's getting crazy. Sorry,
Aaron, do you use Astute Graphics plugins for Illustrator at all?
I played around with it for a minute, and I loaded all of them up at once, and then it kind of
too much.
Yeah, it was too much to where I had to take them all out. So
there's a couple that I use all the time that are really good.
There's a couple that'll help you if you're drawing on the Cintiq in Illustrator. There's some really good tools that'll help you.
Dude, it's like Adobe all over again in a way where it's so deep and there's so many features. I don't even know where to start with any of it. It's very good set of products. I just didn't like. If I wait for the need to arise in what I'm doing to find the tool to fill it. If you just throw a bunch of tools at me that I don't have the needs for, I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? So,
yeah, I only use like 4 Astute things, maybe like of the Astute stuff. Yeah.
I use them all just because I'm a bells and I don't have any skill myself. It's all plug.
Oh, come on.
I was hoping we could get to that point, John, because I wanted to talk about it. You have no skill. Actual skill, John.
There was 4 clicks in that buffalo. That was all just generative. I'm like Josh
You just
Davis.
have like 1,000 plugins on your computer.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, here's my guitar pick plugin. Yeah, here's my buffalo plugin. Pow!
We're adding a new feature to the Super Design Bowl where we do a gotcha feature where, like, now that the team shit's out of the way, let's go through your Instagram and roast every single post right now. Down the line we go.
John, I remember you used to have really great sketchbooks. So do you miss not having Solimine, those sketchbooks anymore? Like,
I do kind of, and I definitely use Procreate as my sketchbook for work at least. But then it ends up bleeding into everything now. So I mean, I still have my sketchbook like sitting right next to me, but you know, I do, and now I use it like for taking notes and lame shit. So
yeah. Do you do finished work in Procreate, John?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you do finished work in Procreate, or is it only for ideation?
No, I'll do finished work. Yeah.
That's what I do too now. And
I'm not talented enough to do finished work in Procreate.
I do finished work. Everything's half finished.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, no, for Jon Kutt, for like the way you work, especially if it looks finished, but if it looked too overworked, you would lose a lot of the charm of it. Like that's
mid-century stuff, right? Like the comic book influence, where you're literally just trying to work quick and get it out, and that's you know, it works in my favor in that way.
Well, I mean, like with most illustrators and comic book art especially, I infinitely like looking at the sketches more than I like seeing the finished work most of the time.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, it
has more big Art Adams fan, and I'm the same. When I look at sketches, I'm like, good Lord. And then when it's inked, sometimes I'm like, well, I'm always amazed by it, but I'm like, it doesn't have the beauty of the pencil.
No, it makes me feel lacking because I don't keep sketchbooks anymore. I'm just too fucking busy, and it's like I always tell myself like we're gonna get back to that one day, and it's like we're gonna get back to the treadmill one day too. Like it's just not.
I just threw out like 20 sketchbooks. I don't even keep.
Why would you throw out your sketchbooks?
I don't care. My sketches. First of all, John Solimine sketches are beautiful. He like fully thinks out ideas. My sketches are like crappy little thumbnails, just so I can work out an idea.
Yeah,
that nobody
that's
cares.
What everybody's sketchbook is.
Yeah, you gotta keep everything.
Why? I guess we're moving offices. They went into the recycle bin. I don't give a shit.
John? Where are you from?
Outside of Toronto, Kitchener, Ontario.
Okay,
I didn't even get a bio in this fucking thing.
Oh, sorry, we got right into it. Listen, give it to me now. I'll edit it back in. Jeez.
My name is Jon Kutt. I'm from Kitchener, Waterloo, Ontario. Outside of Toronto, we are the home of Blackberry, and I have just 2 years drawing now. I've only been drawing for 2 years. After 20 years, taking a holiday and doing graphic design for a mid-level marketing company. That's it. There we are. There's the bio.
It's pretty good.
So right after Billy asked me to do this, I looked up your shit and wondered why you had so much SCTV work in your book.
Canadian, man. Yeah. I love it. That's my go-to.
No, I feel you bad. You had like deep cuts going on, like Edith Prickley, right? Don't you have an Edith Prickley one? Like that's that's like your surface level SCTV.
No one else gets. We had a show in Hamilton, Ontario called Hilarious House of Frightenstein that brought in Jack Davis, did the fan art for this show, and it was just a local cable TV, and it was one guy playing everyone, and it was incredible. It had a wolf man that was a DJ that would dance in front of a psychedelic background to the Rolling Stones. It had a Julius Sumner who was actually like a physicist, and he would teach kids about physics, like real physics. Vincent Price did the thing, and it was like the best show ever, but no one else has seen it. It's like a small group of people in Canada.
I'm not allowed to consume any Canadian media until you guys open your borders back up to us down here.
Can't do it, buddy. We're fucking we're in the downward spiral right now.
I don't look at Seth Rogen's Instagram. I don't watch hockey. I haven't eaten bacon in months. I just
Come on in. It's a shithole right now. We're burning.
Oh, Canada's a shithole right now.
Yeah, we're messed up.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
we took the rain from you
Get
guys.
mine.
We're like, oh, we're screwed.
Give me a break.
Canada,
Well,
Bacon shortage. I waited in line 4 days for my bacon ration.
in your maple syrup.
Got 2 small pieces. What am I gonna do with these?
the solid breakfast right there.
Have two pieces of bacon side by each with 2 eggs looking at the sun. That's
Actually, my favorite Canadian. I'm wearing my favorite Canadian right now.
Oh my
There we
God!
are. See, I've seen.
I bootlegged the Pam Anderson T-shirt after I bought one off online. I don't know why I'm sharing this right now, other than the fact that she's Canadian. She was Canadian.
You
He's
know,
like,
I think that's a perfect place to end the show. Yeah.
good to be back, Billy.
Solimine, Kutt, thank you so much for joining us, and Aaron, of course, as always. Really appreciate it. Links to your portfolios and your Craigslist listings are going to be down below in the show's description.
Nice
So,
work, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
both.